And now, independent and unbiased, here's your weekly Brooklyn market update with Noah and John from UrbanDigs.
Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are from UrbanDigs. It is Monday, so you're going to get your Brooklyn weekly market update. John, let's get into it. We're in the slower holiday season. I'm looking at Brooklyn supply, 3,173 things. Show me that chart.
Yeah, the password today, Noah, is slow, and that's what goes across all of our metrics. And we're looking at supply here. Supply's down 2.5% or so on the week. And it's, again, similar to what Manhattan does, similar to what supply in general does this time of year. It just ticks down, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, you got about 6 weeks. You got about a month and a half until you get into the end of January, beginning of February, until you see that next listing season ramp up. So if you are a buyer out there with a time pressure to buy, you're going to have tight inventory conditions. Same for the value play buyers, Johnny. It's just not a expansive supply situation by any means in both Manhattan or Brooklyn. Let's shift over to Brooklyn demand, Johnny. Pending sales, 1,807 things waiting to close. Show me that chart.
Yeah, and that's down about 3% or so, almost 3% on the week. And this is one of those charts where we're going to see, pending sales maybe tick lower, but it's kind of at that point where it's basically just going to go sideways from here on out. And if, we might see a little bit of volatility in there, of course, but generally the trend is going to be sideways.
Yeah, it looks like it's sideways. And, the important thing is it's not an active free fall anymore. It's
Right.
not an aggressive decline, and that's the important thing. And that's why the pulse is kind of hanging around this upper 50s level. And there's not much of a leverage situation or leverage shift going on right now. It's just hanging around this new level. Let's go over to the weeklies in Brooklyn, Johnny, see if there's any clues there. I'm looking at new listing supply pace, 108 things. That's down around 30%, Johnny. Show me that chart.
Yeah, you're right. It's down almost 31% on the week. And again, this is a microcosm of what we saw on the overall supply chart. And we're just going to keep seeing weekly fewer and fewer listings coming on as we close out the year.
Right. And you shift over to demand, you got 112 things that were signed into contract. That's also down 17%. This is all very seasonal kind of stuff. Don't misinterpret this for a macro trend down. This is a seasonal trend down. Johnny, show me those charts.
Yeah, certainly on the seasonal trend, right? You get to that lower point. There's sort of a natural level where things are just going to kind of stay as the market just transacts at what is just the normal level of stuff. However, there is a bit of a macro component to it. No, I mean, if you look at where we are now compared to where we were, you can see that there's really a gap between the last couple of years and this year, and that certainly is more of a macro issue. But that being said, we've kind of reached this natural level, and I really don't see Brooklyn contract signs dipping too far below the lows of this year, even as we close out the year.
Right. And I just want to point out when I go back over here, I know this is a weekly basis, but I'd like to do this exercise every week and see what's going on. You got 108 things coming on the market. You got 112 things going off. So right there, you have a net deficit. But let's not forget the 101 things that are also being removed from the active marketplace. So you have a downward pressure on supply, and this is going to be in play for the foreseeable future. And Johnny, that brings us to the chart du jour for today. And we're going to go take a peek at the Brooklyn rental market. Everyone's asking us what's going on in the Brooklyn rental market. And this is the data that we got. We're looking at last ask median rental prices. We're looking at the blue bar, the pace of new listings coming on in the rental market. And then I got the yellow bar that's showing us lease activity. And, similar to Manhattan style, prices have come down, Johnny, but they're no longer falling. They're kind of hanging out at this new high level. The only thing that's falling is both new listing and demand activity. And I see a spread here, Johnny, between these two. Not sure what you see.
Yeah, I totally agree. So prices are down, almost, was that 5-ish%, maybe somewhere in there. But, I see a seasonal weakness, but I don't see any sort of structural weakness here, no. So I don't see anything that's suggesting that prices on Brooklyn rentals are going to start cratering into the new year. I'm sure if you're a renter, that's kind of what you're looking for, but this chart suggests that might not happen.
Yeah, the transactions are down. So you might see some OPs, you might see some concessions, which are not priced into this. The net effective rent might be coming in a little bit. That's very, very, very possible, and we can't capture that accurately. But you know what? Again, those prices, it has to be providing some level of support. At least I would think, in theory, to that Brooklyn sales market. And we'll try to take a look at Brooklyn price action as a Q4 sneak peek next week, and we'll see what's going on over there. But until then, this is what we got for today. That's the rental market in Brooklyn. Thank you, John, for pulling up all this data. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We're both from UrbanDigs. And don't forget, you guys got questions, we got answers. Just go over here to our forum. And if you want any of the charts that John whipped up today, they'll be right over here in just a few seconds. Other than that, this has been your Brooklyn Weekly Market Update, and we'll catch you next time.